Hello, trading has closed on February 28th, 2023. Let's do our disclaimer, go over our calls, and make some predictions. It's my trading plan for March the 1st, 2023. Please remember my calls can be completely wrong. Any trade you make should be at your own risk. Well, even though yesterday's pattern might look like it was the one with the early high, I said it was the one with the early low, which would mean today's pattern was the one with the early low, and that's what this is, early low. And tomorrow's pattern should have the early high. We said that if we went to around 39.71.5 cash, which is here, there should be support. And that held till right at the end. That worked. And we said yesterday's pattern was a negative pattern, should lead to lower prices, even if we didn't close lower. And here's a reminder of what we said. Of course, we did close lower, but we did trade much higher first, and that's not precluded. We have a new price target for MEJT for tomorrow, 39.93.82. If we don't gap down smartly, that's my call. Early on, MEJT gave an ultimate sell signal, but when we got the signal fulfilled, MEJT said it was a false move and prices would retrace. Also said this drop wouldn't stick, and that certainly worked. Now this is really enough to satisfy the signal. You don't have to get more, but even though it's not one of the rules, when you get just enough, very often you'll undercut that low, which we did right at the close, and that's the support level, so we closed that support. In the afternoon, MEJT said this rally wouldn't stick, and it didn't. Now says this whole drop is not the real thing. Says we're going to retrace to this line, 39.93.82. This shows all the Fibonacci relationships at this low, which I'm still thinking will hold, and I've drawn in this gold trend line, which also hits right there. And this is a reminder of our wave count. So until I'm proven wrong, which could happen, I'm saying that low is going to hold. And the question is, how do you count this mess? Well, the gray counts what I had yesterday. I had one, then I had an A, B, and C was right at my 39.71.50, and I figured that would either be an A of 2 or wave 2. But you can't count it that way when you undercut it like this. So that was in gray. What I have now in blue is A with an ABC with good fibs, B, and then C, with C having a trip relationship to A and being a clear 5 waves down. If that's the right count, it could be A of 2, it's possible. But for right now, with a question mark, we'll call it the end of wave 2. Doesn't mean it can't be A of 2. If that's the right count, we should stop right here. Here was a gap down. We challenged that level all throughout the day, and that held. With only 5 minutes left to trade, we had a wall into the close, and that broke. Wall into the close tends to indicate panic selling by retail customers. And also a late break like this implies it's not institutions who are doing selling. In fact, it's specialists who have to purchase stock when support supposedly breaks, and when they purchase it, they usually get their money back fast, and the fastest way to do it would be to gap over this high. So I'm looking for a gap tomorrow morning over this high, regardless of what happens overnight. And if we get it, I think the odds are pretty good. We're going to see 39, 93, 82, and perhaps more than that, even though more than that doesn't have to print in a day. If we keep dropping, of course, maybe something else is going on. That we don't know until tomorrow. But Wednesday's pattern has the early high. We could gap down. Typically, it's a rally day with a final hour high. If you fail, it's a straight line drop. There's a higher MEJT target. If you don't gap down smartly, the rules call for it to print. Support held till the final 5 minutes. That was a wall down. The wall and the timing of the break, both are characteristic of panic selling by amateur investors. So if, that's an if, that interpretation is correct, we should gap up tomorrow and promptly clear the last relative high at 3979.06 cash. So if that happens, it gives credibility to the wave count, which would have us in a wave 3 higher. As I said, could still be part of wave 2, but I'm going to pencil in wave 3. And if we don't gap up smartly and instead continue down, I don't really have a good plan. I have to reassess after the morning MEJT sequence. I'm still calling this week's low as a major low. I'm not believing anything on the downside until that gets taken out with authority. And I still don't think it will. There's just too much support there and too much of a wave count there. And if I'm wrong about that, which is always possible, at least supports are reasonable, at least the stop loss is at a reasonable level. You're talking under 1%. So tomorrow has the early high. I'm looking for a rally day starting by gapping over this high. And if we don't gap over this high, or at least clear it fast, and if this low doesn't hold, I don't have to risk any money on it. Because if that doesn't happen, I've probably misread the pattern. And that's today's call.